Sunlight. I've been dreaming of it for months. But it's hard to enjoy alone. 'Cause I think I'm seeing things out there. The crash seems so long ago now. I was in the mess hall, so I managed to scrounge up all of the potatoes into my escape pod in time. It's been 300 days now, living off potatoes. I haven't been able to leave my base I managed to build in a day. I'm all out of supply, so there's literally nothing I can do. Even if the creatures are out there, I need to go outside, so this might be my last log entry. I need to touch some seaweed. Wish me luck. Pod 51 out. Maybe this wasn't so bad after all. Subnautica. A game released in early testing in around 2014 and made popular by the largest and most recognized names on YouTube, like Markiplier,
what is that?
Jacksepticeye,
What is that thing? Oh, jeez! Oh, no! Ah! Ah!
and Pewds. You might think it's due to these big names and the peak of YouTube gaming commentary in general around 2016, which made the game blow up. But I don't think so. That is only a partial explanation, because Subnautica is unique. There's nothing like it on the market, even to this day, except Below Zero, Subnautica's own sequel. Underwater exploration is something that hasn't been explored on the gaming market of today too often. And if it has been, it's always in the form of that one level nobody wants to talk about. Many say that Below Zero is worse than Subnautica in many ways, thus it would be a tempting topic on its own. This video isn't about that, for two reasons. First, I haven't been able to play the game as of yet, and second, I've not spoiled anything of its plot. Yup, I haven't even seen the trailers yet, and I actively refuse to do so until I gain access to the full game itself at this point, even if it's worse than a Subnautica supposedly. Why go through that, you ask? It all has to do with a phenomenon I'd like to talk to you about now. Alright, if you would follow me for a second, sir. So, my office is located back on Earth, so you'll have to borrow a rocket of mine. I'll take my own transportation, don't worry about it. I've spent a lot of money on gacha games this month, so I had to save up on the construction materials.
Primary computer systems active.
The software is a bit outdated, but it should work, it should be fine, don't worry about it.
9, 8.
Before I forget, it's really important that you update the admin.
2, 1. Time capsule jettison.
Want a break from the ads? If you tap now to watch a short video, you'll receive 30 minutes of ad-free music.
Play Golden Eagle ticket to earn 10 XP spins in order to win the $1 jackpot.
Welcome to my office. Don't worry, I'm a trained professional. Now what we're about to talk about is the Safe Shallow Syndrome. What is the Safe Shallow Syndrome? It's a psychological condition, often experienced by players playing Subnautica for the first time. It is typified by a range of symptoms, which I'm going to categorically list next so you too can potentially learn to recognize the same symptoms on the field. Notice, this isn't actual psychological advice. I'm not a licensed psychologist, and the following material is for comedic purposes only. 1. The player presents an acute fear response to deep water, especially in poor visibility conditions where the bottom of the ocean can't be seen, similar to the effects of thalassophobia. Thalassophobia is often an underlying condition with safe shallows syndrome. Addendum. With the combination of the two, there's an increased chance that the patient will make a video essay containing the word thalassophobia in the title within the next few months. 2. The player is paranoid of unfamiliar noises, especially on lower frequencies.
What was that sound? I'm scared. I thought it was gonna attack me.
Paradoxically, total silence can additionally trigger a fear response in some individuals. 3. The player limits their movement patterns significantly during nighttime. The player is careful about moving in unlit environments, often resorting to staying indoors and peeking out of windows.
How do I swim faster? Why did it get dark all of a sudden? Do I have a thing like nightlight or anything? Okay, I can go back in the pod. Thank you. That sounds like a good plan. Good plan.
4. The player has built their accommodations exclusively within the safe shallows, a region in Subnautica, and is what the condition is named after. This is typically done due to perceived safety due to shallow water, even if it comes at the cost of limited resource availability and hampers larger vehicle movement later in the game. Addendum. These accommodations might vary, but are in case of the safe shallows syndrome usually covered in floodlights and solar panels in a vain attempt to drive away the darkness. The safe shallows syndrome is a result of one thing and one thing only: the lack of knowledge about an alien environment. And for many of you listening, unless you're a Giga Chad amongst men, or Gigalass? Legolas. Who knows? Nevertheless, cluelessness is an integral phase of every new Subnautica player's first playthrough. To a new player, hearing the low rumble of a Reefback might be scary for the first time. Many hostile creatures, like the stalkers, might appear more dangerous than they actually are. Same goes for other creatures. On the ultimate end of the scale, when the new player learns of the existence of the Reaper Leviathans, one way or the other, a new sort of existential dread forms shape. Firstly, the player isn't sure where the Reapers could be. They could be anywhere. But another question also forms. Maybe, just maybe, there's something even bigger, something nastier, somewhere out there. Suddenly, the player feels quite small. And at the same time, every new biome contains a sense of wonder, new discoveries. And as you dive deeper and find out more about the world through scans, it intrigues you, keeps you going, despite the uncertainty of it all. From small steps like building your first Seamoth, to repairing the Aurora's reactor, to building your first base. From great strides, like finding the blueprints to the Cyclops and the prawn suit, and diving to the deepest part of the world. Fear is wonder. It makes the experience exhilarating, and it also makes it so that when you have to leave the planet at the end of the game, it's quite a somber experience. Leaving the time capsule is one of those things you do with fondness in mind to those who go through the same thing as you did.
Enough about the mushrooms.
Because what usually follows after your first campaign playthrough is another thing entirely. Once you get over the safe shallows syndrome, the game just isn't the same. You know now, with concerning accuracy, where that one Reaper that destroyed your Seamoth that one time is. You know that at full health you can take a hit from a Reaper and will not die. You know their patrol routes. you know their weaknesses. And this time, you won't hide. You will show them what happened to the last ecosystem that faced monkeys who learned to pick up rocks and light fires. The fear is gone, but so is the wonder. Building things up again turns into routine, no matter the location now. And ultimately, you have nothing to fear. You know that the most creatures are just mild annoyances, and severe annoyances at worst. But nothing insurmountable, and worst of all, death loses its meaning. So what if you lose a few items? You can just get them back easy. And this is why safe shallow syndrome is something I miss. I'd like to forget what I've learned and play through the game again with no memory of what I'd done before. For Subnautica is a game you can really play only once, in my opinion, before the magic begins to dissipate. And that's why I refuse to spoil myself on its sequel. I don't care if someone tells me it sucks. I'll get it one day, when I can scavenge up the $10 necessary to buy it and have the time. And then I will immerse myself. And I recommend the same method to anyone else too, even if it's hard to do. Back in the day, Let's Plays on Subnautica were everywhere. And most people probably knew about most of the creatures in the game before they even played it themselves. The only thing that prevented me from watching like the others was an uncanny feeling of it ruining something. It's hard to describe, and yet I think I enjoyed the game a lot more due to that instinct. The more blind you are to the things in the game, the more enjoyment you are able to get out of the game, and the more fondly you will remember said experience. Thus, if you're out there, right now, not knowing what the game has ahead of you, sorry for spoiling the game in this video by the way, but also, I envy you. Go get 'em, champ. But noob, why was this video like 3 weeks late? I can explain that quickly here. First off, life has been life. And second off, my chair broke in the middle of editing this. So, if you want to know what I finished editing this video with, hold on. Behold! When you first saw the ultimate gaming chair, were you blinded by his majesty, paralyzed, dumbstruck? I have a Patreon now, so if you want to fund a new chair, yeah, that's gonna be on my shopping list for now. Until next time. Peace.